40, though, in the finals. Playing finals or seeing finals all week, that's how the finals work out at 40. Otherwise, everything's the same. All right, let's begin. Good luck. And away we go with toss-up 1. This man successfully argued in Dartmouth College v. Woodward that the school's original charter should be upheld. This man, who served as Secretary of State under John Tyler, negotiated a namesake treaty with Lord Ashburton regarding the northern U.S.-Canada border. Webster is good for 5 points. Over to Huttish to start us off. So number 2. Richard Nixon graduated from this university's law school, and its undergraduate alumni include Stephen Miller and J.B. Pritzker. This university, known for its Blue Devil sports teams, was named Duke is correct. Yes, 5 points over to Harrison. 3. This man was chosen for the position of running mate on the National Union Party due to his status as a leader of the War Democrats. This man violated the Tenure of Office Act. Andrew Johnson is good for 5 points over to Aquaman. Number 4. This politician ran for a governorship as a Democrat, only to immediately switch party affiliation after defeating Republican candidate Bill Cole. This politician, whose family owns the Greenbrier Resort, was formerly the only billionaire in the state of West Virginia. For the points, identify this current Republican senator, the successor of Joe Manchin. Time, that's Jim Justice. Number 5. People who were part of this colony supposedly left messages on dare stones in this colony. Roanoke is good for 6 over to Econch. 2-6. This man's former lover, Ruth Kligman, spent the last years of her life trying to authenticate one of his paintings through hairs that fell off of a polar bear rug he owned. And his wife, Lee Krasner, was also a famous painter. This painter's most valuable... Jackson Pollock is good for a 5-point buzz over to Tricia. To 7. This polity was governed by the Great Law of Peace written on 6 points. Back over to Tricia. To 8. This person married a Belarusian woman named Marina after defecting to the Soviet Union. This man was briefly employed at the Texas School Book Depository, from which he took at least one shot that hit Governor Jock Buck. Good for 5 this time, Tricia. To 9. After dropping out of Stanford, this person first came to claim launching Loot, and he announced the Stargate project in 2025.
Elon Musk?
Not Musk. This man was briefly removed from his post as CEO of a certain company in 2023 due to concerns about its nonprofit nature and safety concerning artificial intelligence development. For the points named, this man who's the current CEO of OpenAI. Sam Altman. Yeah, 3 points over to Aquaman. Altman would suffice, but we can't take it if you give us incorrect information. Number 10. While holding this office, Harry Daugherty was cleared of all charges in relation to the Teapot Dome scandal. Frank Murphy and Robert Jackson both held this office before Franklin Roosevelt appointed them to the Supreme Court. Robert F. Kennedy held for the points.
Attorney General.
Yes, he was for 4 over to Lee. That's 10 split score check.
I have Aquaman with 8, Harrison with 5, Liam with 2, Econch with 6, Anish with 3, and Trisha with 16.
Okay, everybody on the board for Trisha out in front. Toss of 11. In response to a work by this author, John Chalmers took the pen name Candidiasis to claim that it would lead to civil wars and intestine commotions. That work by this author argued that time makes more converts than reason and proposed a continental charter to replace the Magna Carta. This author of Common Sense claimed that it was England good for 5 on that charter to Econch. 12. George Snowden headed the malicious response to this event, which was organized by Governor Robert Patterson. During the strike, Emma Goldman and Alexander Berkman conspired to assassinate Henry Clay Frick, and it featured the gathering of Pinkerton agents at a dam on the Ohio River. Just getting it in for 5 to Upper Man on number 12. For 13. In 1973, occupation of this location was led by the group AIM in protest of Richard Wilson and unfulfilled treaties generally. This location was the site of Alcatraz was the site of violence during the Pine Ridge campaign, which was fought against followers of the ghost dancing. But the points Venus Wounded Knee, yeah, good for 4 over to econ. Oppenheimer, you were on the right track. It was also an Alcatraz occupation, going for Wounded Knee there. 14. After resigning as leader of this group, Richard Marcinko founded Red Cell, a group designed to highlight military security vulnerabilities. The CIA-led Operation Neptune Spear was carried out primarily by this specific unit. Team 6, yes, that's what's needed. 5 points for Kroger's tree shuttle. Toss up 15 and the next score check. This man was abducted by Thomas Hunt and sold. Nice buzz, 6 points to Aquaman. Okay, so that's 15. Nice score check.
Upper Man with 17, Harrison with 5, Neil with 2, Econch with 15, Amish with 1, and Trisha with 21.
Okay, I'll check. 16, halfway home. This man, the author of My 60 Memorable Games, refused to defend his title against Anatoly Karpov due to disagreements with FIDE.
Bobby Fischer?
6 again for Aquaman. 17. In 2007, this senator controversially initiated the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program to study unidentified flying objects. This one-time Senate Majority Leader invoked the nuclear option in 2013 to lower the cloture threshold for all nominations other than the Supreme Court. For the points, Las Vegas's airport
Harry Reid
is now named for Harry Reid for 4 points to Liam. 8 later. This author was arrested on charges of embezzlement at an Austin bank and fled to Honduras, where he wrote Cabbages and Kings. This man described a spoiled child who bothers his kidnappers so much that they release him in The Ransom of Red Chief, telling the story of how Jim and Della Dillingham Young purchased Christmas gifts for the points. Name this author who wrote The Gift of the Magi. Time. Ooh, it's something to note. Oh, Henry. 19. Okay. One oration of this movement compares one group to greedy, hungry lions and claims that their foot shall slide in due time. George Whitefield was one of the leaders of this movement.
Frustrated Awakening.
That's good for 5. Over to Aquaman. 20, then the next score check. This policy was carried out by John DeWitt, and reparations were granted years after the enactment of this policy in the Civil Liberties Act of 1988. In Arkansas, Jerome and Rower were 2 sites where this policy was carried out, and this policy was upheld in Korematsu v. United States.
Comparative?
Prompt?
Japanese.
There you go. Yeah, 5 points. Courtney Conch. And that's the next score check.
I have Upper Man with 28, Harrison with 5, Liam with 6, Econch with 20, Avish with 1, and Trisha with 21.
Okay, check. All right, time to go. Toss up. Olive Thomas starred in a silent comedy that popularized this subculture, whose other Hollywood symbols include Joan Crawford and Clara Bow, known as the It Girl. The term for this subculture is often attributed to a move from the Charleston dance or a false etymology around unbuckled shoes. For the points, name this subculture of women who wore flappers. Yes, we were 4 to true show at that time. 22. Okay. This specific object displays an engraving which is based on the unfinished Athenaeum portrait, and this object was issued as a silver certificate until 1963. An Andy Warhol piece of 200 of these objects sold at auction for $43 million in 2009, and this object's reverse side features an Eye of Providence atop a pyramid. A US dollar, yes, and that's good for 4 over to Kavish. 23. This event's participants targeted the Court of Common Pleas in Northampton and forced the closure of debtors' courts. Benjamin Lincoln contributed 6,000 pounds to raise a militia to deal with this event, which demonstrated weaknesses in the art of
Chase Rebellion.
Yeah, classic reference to that. Point. Operameon. 24. A slogan meaning "Yes, we can" was popularized while this person was engaging in a 25-day long hunger strike. This person, Chavez, for 5 points to Trisha here, came up with academic goal too. 25 in the next score check. The person who drafted this bill believed that it would enable the construction of a transcontinental railroad. This bill was opposed by Sam Houston, who yes, the Kansas-Nebraska Act, and that's 6 points over to Harrison. Buzz. All right, 5 to go. Score check.
With 33, Harrison with 11, Leah with 6, Ikanch with 20, Havish with 3, and Trisha with 30.
Okay, 5 to go. In 1909, this man praised pre-Reconstruction era schools and lamented lack of property redistribution in the last speech by a black man to the American Historical Association until 1940. Booker T. Washington invited this man, George Washington Carter, not Marcus Garvey. Yes, that is good. And that is for 5 points over to Liam. Let's take the next into account. Every buzz. Havish, one. Every buzz consequential with 4 to go. Very tight at the top. 27. During his lifetime, this man was the only American to have been awarded the rank of General of the Armies, and it saw me here.
Pershing?
No.
Can I say Pershing?
Yes, he's Pershing for 6. Upper man. Gave it to Washington posthumously. Okay, potentially just one away. Toss of 28. During this conflict, General Norman Schwarzkopf led. Yeah. So for everybody else, here we go. Verify the rest of the scores. Tie for 4 or fourth. Okay. We break all ties in playoff or finals. 29. All right, I need something pretty specific. The photograph Migrant Mother captured one member of this social group by a photographer in the Resettlement Administration and was termed the Mona Lisa of the 1930s. Many members of this social group sought out agricultural work in the Central Valley, and the book The Grapes of Wrath was written about their. Oh, Keith, yeah, good buzz. Show for 5. Good for the second. All right, here's the last one. The play Inherit the Wind is a highly fictionalized account of this case and premiered during the Second Red Scare, and H.L. Mencken gained fame for his satirical reporting on this case. This case was triggered as a result of an intentional violation of Butler with Clarence Darrow. Switch monkey draw. Points. He punched in 3rd, but we still have Harrison and Liam. 5 for 4th. We gotta fix that. All right. Good. Toss up here, see if you get it. Otherwise, I got 2 more on the page. I think one of these gonna get it. At least one of you. Anyway, here we go. Number 1. The 1960 Treaty of Fifth Avenue between Richard Nixon and this politician strained support among conservative circles, and they have delivered the presidency to John F. Kennedy. This politician derailed the 1964 presidential campaign by divorcing his wife and marrying a younger woman named. And an order given by this politician resulted in 43 deaths during rioting. prison. A four-term governor of New York for the point. Who was this liberal Republican vice president? Yeah, Robert Ferguson. Harrison with Liam with fifth, and Bobby with sixth. Congratulations, players. My parents for remaining silent and attention at the match. That's behavior. Okay, all right, so come on up and like coming right front is see a way to do it, and then all the big bring the banner over into that corner that takes the eight spot. That's all right. So first off, in sixth place, Hodge, congratulations. In fifth place, congratulations to Liam. Fourth place, going to Harris. Trophies. That's the third place one, and that will go to be punched. And second place today to Trisha Perula. All right, getting the U.S. history, national history gold.